Hello everyone, and welcome back to the, second or first, depending how you see it, episode of Darkest Hour. In the previous episode, we actually went through what's ahead of us and what's ahead of us and what challenges will probably be encountered on our First World War path. In this second episode, or first episode, I think I'm gonna make the other one part 0. We are going to look a bit on how France is right now and what we can do to make it better, because you don't even need to get into that whole joke of making the United States great again, but we really need to get into the joke of making France better, because at this point it is really a giant on clay legs, as the saying goes. So, first of all, I'm gonna show you a bit about the interface. You can skip it if you know the game, but there might be some that don't. So we have a couple of strategic resources here. We have energy, we have metal, we have rare materials, we have oil, we have supplies, and we have money. We also have manpower and nuclear weapons and dissent. Energy is necessary for functioning of your factories. That means your industrial capacity that we'll get into in a second. Metal is the same thing. If you don't have metal, basically your factories do not work anymore. Rare materials, the same thing. What they're used to, each of them, I never really cared about it. You just need to have everything. So, yeah. Oil is necessary for your ships and your tanks. We don't have any tanks yet, but hopefully we'll get some as the war continues. Supplies are necessary for your armies. They're, replenishing or resting. They're fighting. Supplies are really important, people. And the money is generally used for your technology, and it's a general trading thing. You can offer money to anyone and anyone will accept them, which is not true for the other resources. Now, manpower, we have 13, which is pretty awful because we would need hundreds and hundreds to replenish our units. All of them are in the peaceful state, so they don't really have that much soldiers in them. Here they have strength 10 out of 100. 1,300 personnel out of 13,000. But we don't need to deal with that right now because we will mobilize soon. And once we mobilize, the game will actually... once you mobilize, the game will actually replenish all your troops from the reserves automatically, as it happens in a war. And at that point, this will jump to around 400, and we'll be able to draw manpower from that for future projects. So, what does this mean for us? I think that France has a huge stockpile of energy and metal because it's taking it from the many metal mines it has, and energy, plus we are getting it from the colonies. Same with rare materials, and I think oil is not a problem. Supplies will need to make through industrial capacity that we have here. Now this is the economy screen. So we're building ships, good. Here is our industrial capacity. You can see that we have 110 total, but we have usable only 78. That's because of the penalties. I think it shows here. Minister effect minus 8.3. What the hell? Policy effect minus 2.7. Tech effect 1.11. Difficulty effect minus 22. Oh, so it's minus 20%, not 25. Minister effect, we'll have to check that out. But anyway, these are the things you can invest your industrial capacity into. You can put them to consumer goods, which give you money and lower dissent. Dissent is something we really don't want to do, because as the dissent grows, everything else goes down. So if you have, for example, 10% dissent, you get 10% less industrial capacity, and your forces fight with 10% less strength. So this is actually awful. At this point, you can see that dissent is 0, and daily dissent progress would be minus 0.02. If we actually produce less consumer goods, which is this, than necessary, it would go up daily by 0.05. That is awful. So we really need to keep it at a steady level. I'm gonna keep it somewhere around 21 because we could use a bit more money. We want a 50 I'm gonna say pounds, okay? I think it's millions of pounds, but let's just call it 50 pounds for the game's sake. So we'll keep 20 point... let's put it to 21 industrial capacity in consumer goods and ignore it for good measure. Now, production is going into here. Now, we're currently building a couple of ships. We're building a battleship level 4, or, well, you know, there are technologies. For example, when you look, I'm going to speak about this later, but if you have 1870 light infantry, that's light infantry 1, 1897 is light infantry 2, this is infantry 3, and so on. So it depends on what you want to call it. I usually eventually refer to it by the year of creation, but at this point I'm not sure which this is. So we're building 2 battleships 3 and 3 battleships 4. These are actually almost built, it seems. Yeah, 98.61%. And these are at 69, 76%, and 46.2%. So we're doing 5 battleships. I'm gonna keep it because a lot of the progress has been already made. These ones will roll out pretty soon. It says production necessary 2, but I think the game is actually lying. The battleship takes away more production. Yeah, 1.9 IC, and it takes, as you can see, 1396 days to develop. Ships of this size are actually a huge industrial devotion. You know, they require for you to throw a lot of production into it. So we're not gonna cancel them. Even if we won't use them right now, we're gonna keep them there. And as it says that it costs 1.9 IC, that's actually 10 IC, that would be 9.5. So let's put 9.5 IC in here. I think it counts as... Actually, you know what, let's put 2 in there. I don't want to waste any IC, we can't really do much. We're gonna have to recheck it next time. Or like the next day. It automatically updates every night. So we'll put 2 in here and then change it to more. Now supplies. Supplies are actually really important for us. If we had supplies like this, we would produce 183.14 supplies per day, while our troops only need 96.54 each day. So we would have a surplus of almost 80. Or maybe more? It would be 100, almost 90 every day, which is not bad, but I have a bit of a different problem. Reinforcements, this would go to our troops, but we don't really need it right now because after the mobilization kicks in, all of our forces will get to maximum power, so let's ignore it for now. The problem that France and us at this point faces is not the actual size of forces. We have a ton of troops. The problem is that almost all of them are outdated. These are... this one actually I clicked on is a 1907 Infantry. But this one, for example, is... Wait, what? Oh, this one is Infantry Division... this one is 1870! Oh my god. Yeah, this one is 1870 as well. This one is 1897. These are 1887. So what I'm trying to show you here is that most of our infantry divisions, yeah, like here you have one 1907 and 1907 infantry division, and then you have 2 1897 divisions. So most of our forces are actually outdated. And it's absolutely necessary for you to keep up with the enemy. Because as you can see, the 1907 infantry has a strength of 6 when it's attacking. But the 1897 has a strength of 4. So it's actually way weaker. You would need 3 of these divisions to beat 2 of these. And that one actually has a cannon, so it's a bit different, but you get my point. You need to keep your forces up to date, which is something that we can't do. I think we don't even have... Yeah, we don't even have the 1914 infantry research, and it is well into 1914. I know as a matter of fact that Germany has most of its forces on 1914. So instead of actually producing a ton of troops for our army, we're gonna need to invest as much as we can into upgrading the ones that we have right now. So I'm gonna put 25 of our industrial capacity into supplies. It's actually really slow moving. Okay, 25. We're gonna lock it there. And the rest, 30, is going to go into upgrades, which means that out of the 34 obsolete divisions, we will be able to upgrade 41.87%, which is decent. You know, that's not a bad number, but still, we have way more obsolete. Oh my god, this is another 1870. Its strength is 2, actually. While this 18... Oh my god. Yeah, that's really bad. So, like, half of our army is unusable at this point. That kind of sucks. But we have a lot of troops. That's the good part, you know. We have a ton of armies that are ready to be put to the front, and when they are properly mobilized, we will be fine. The problem is that we really need to make them battle worthy before we do anything. We also have almost no brigades. Brigades is the thing that you can see up here, like this one. The 9th Division Infantry has 1907 level, and it has an artillery brigade, 1897. So that's the first artillery there is. Oh my god, we have really bad technology. I didn't remember it being that bad. Yeah. So we have the... Oh, that's the 75 cannon. That's actually historical. France had a huge problem when the war started, that the German cannons were way better, and the ones that they used was the 75, I think it's 75 caliber 1897 model. The next one is 1912 model. Okay. Well, anyway, that's a bit of an issue we will have to face. Now, we have some forces also in Africa. There's actually quite a lot of militia here, as I can see. What's this? This is not... It's a garrison unit. 2 militia... Oh, and we have a division of Marocain, which is regular infantry. Then more garrison here. Huh. We have quite a lot of forces everywhere. What about Madagascar? Oh yeah, we have 3 militia forces here. And... in the Chinese Union, which is our puppet, that's why we can see its forces, has some units as well. 1 here and 2 here. What about this? We have 1 militia unit in the Nouvelle Calédonie. And then we have... Oh, we have a little province here as well. Matautu. Okay. Anything here? Or... Oh, I forgot that we have Saint Martin, Guadeloupe, and Martinique here. And we have a... Oh my god. A light cruiser of level 1. This thing is useless. Descartes class. Oh, that's pretty much... I think that one served with Napoleon or something. Okay, so that's as far as our army go. Now, as far as technology goes, we'll have quite a lot of things to design here. So let's look at our technology. Now, we definitely need the 1914 infantry. So what you need to do is you click on these buttons and you select a team. We don't need you. You just put them like that and choose them. Now each single team is good in something. For example, manufacturer d'Armes de Saint-Étienne has artillery specialization, training specialization, general equipment and munition, and has a skill of 6. So that's exactly what we need to research our 1914 Infantry Division. Is there anyone better? Nope. So you're gonna do that, because that's absolutely necessary. You can see that we need general equipment, which they have, artillery they have, electronics, which they don't have, munition, and training. So they need to design a service rifle, infantry gun, signal command system, which is the thing that they are not very good for, ammunition, grenades, and mines, which they will, and infantry training. As we have level 6, and most of the things, this should go relatively fast. Now, what else are we going to research? Now, if I'm not mistaken, we don't have much cavalry, so I'm not gonna waste time. I don't think France had a lot of light infantry either. I actually checked checked France in quite a lot of detail before I started recording, so I know that they have no light infantry divisions whatsoever, and I think they have like only 2 or 3 cavalry divisions, so it's not a problem. What we really need though is logistics 1914. This will give us a boost to our transport capacity modifier. It gives attrition modifier, which is good, because we're not gonna take that much casualties. Supply distance modifier, it is easier and faster to put supplies to troops. Strategic redeployment efficiency, that's actually really important too. And repair modifier, when we have something to repair. But it seems that there isn't anyone really suited to this. We need management, centralized execution, general equipment, and large unit tactics. Oh yeah, our teams suck. Well, putting it to Renault would be a good idea, I guess, but we need Renault for something completely different. So let's go with Joseph Joffre, the famous and one. He's gonna deal with the logistics. That's gonna take forever though. Basic supply system, requisition order system, basic land convoy system, basic stock and storage, and strategic refuel and reinforcing. Now, industrial. This is why I say Renault. This one, the production 1915, gives you a 3% bonus to industrial efficiency. So instead of 78, we would get somewhere like 80.5. So that is absolutely necessary for us. So, actually Renault can't do this. We need technical efficiency and industrial engineering, which is whatever this is somewhat best for. So let's give it to somewhat. Now, it's a bit of a waste doing that now, because we're going ahead of time and everything, but we really need this one as soon as possible. Interchangeable parts, machine tools, factory electrification, women work in munitions factories and early assembly line. This is, the 3% makes a huge difference, trust me. Now, as far as infantry go, we don't need engineers, cavalry. Let's look at armor and artillery. Now, I really like armored cars, but these ones are, the 1916 are quite far ahead. We have someone for it though, the Schneider. What about the field artillery? They could do the field artillery too. One thing that I'm gonna do is, because we have enough troops, I'm just gonna give them more brigades. I'm not gonna recruit more troops, because that's not necessary. We just need to make them stronger, I think. So we'll need to put a lot of focus on artillery and armored cars, which are my 2 favorite early bore brigades. 19. I think we're gonna go with the field artillery support first, and one is really important. So, Fami, you're gonna go with that. Now, aircraft. Do we have any aircraft? Oh yeah, we do. 3. So we have 1 interceptor wing and 1 bomber wing in this first one. Same here. And same here. So we have 3, I would say, Corps d'Aviation Militaire. So we have 3 air corps, and each has 1 bomb wing and 1 interceptor wing. The interceptor is actually useless at this point. It's an experimental fighter, yeah. So we should fix that. There was a recon fighter, I see. So we should start with an interceptor that's actually able to defend us. Germany has a lot of airplanes eventually, so that's quite necessary. So let's start with Interceptor 1914. You have quite a lot of important stuff. I think that these might be better. No, we'll put these guys in. They have they have all the mechanics, aeronautics, aircraft testing, and fighter design. So we have short-range engine, fighter airframe, 6.5mm machine gun, optical signaling, and prototype tests. Okay. Now, I don't want anything from the naval right now because we're not gonna focus on it, but oh, land doctrines. Okay, here's some good news. We have a lot of land doctrines. We have the tribal warfare 19th century and 20th century army, and we also have the strong point doctrine, which is good. Now we need the mass charge, which will actually hurt our ground defense efficiency, but increases the land unit organization quite a lot. And we'll need leading by tactics or leading by orders. The mass charge is going to take down the defense efficiency, so that doesn't help. We need organization, we don't need morale that much. So anyone who has centralized execution and training. Well, this guy has centralized execution, but it's about as much as he has, and he has small unit tactics. Let's go with him. There's a math to this, but I'm not entirely sure how good it is and if anyone can really guess and calculate it. So this guy is gonna go with leading by orders, basic infantry tactics, basic company tactics, centralized regimental command tactics, and centralized field command and field maneuvers and training. And we need another one, and I think we're gonna go with the mass charge. The leading by orders are actually quite an old technology. You can only have either leading by orders or leading by task. You can't have both. But mass charge is a 1914 technology. If you research something that's, pardon me, older in historical years, you have it way easier. Mass charge is going to be way more complicated because it's a current technology. I feel like someone with individual courage. You seem like the man for the job. So what does this encompass? So mass infantry assault doctrine, force concentration doctrine, concentrated support fire and close range combat tactics, and a mass assault training. Okay, well, that makes us done with the technology. I'm happy with that. We're going with army logistics, mass production, Great War medium field artillery. Interceptor 1914, leading by orders, mass charge in 1914, an infantry division. We're also done with the economy. We're investing heavily in upgrades, no reinforcements, we're doing well on supplies, production is fine, and consumer goods is fine. So in next part, we're actually gonna try to look at the army itself and create that line that I was speaking about. We'll position a lot of forces along this point here, and a lot of forces around this point. I guess I'm gonna risk it in the beginning anyway, and not count with Switzerland joining the war.